Hey everyone, so finally, after a year, I'm so excited we have the Valorant lore uncovered. Now, Pro, who is very active in the Valorant community, actually gave us a breakdown of what the Valorant lore is. These are all the questions answered about all the agents for Valorant. And earlier this week, Riot gave me an amazing opportunity to preview this new cinematic and ask the narrative team questions. Here's a breakdown of what I can remember, and arguably the biggest reveal is Mirrorverse theory is confirmed. So if you did not know, basically it's kind of like, at first I thought they were clones, but it seems like that the agents fighting are in fact mirrored agents. So attackers are mirrored agents, and the spike originated from the mirrored Earth, invented by mirrored Killjoy. We're not sure why the spike is there, but why are they stealing Radianite? It's likely that their Earth is out of Radianite by itself. Why do they need Radianite? Well, it's a pretty good resource. Also note, Killjoy is seeing the spike for the first time. Why is it out of Radianite? I suspect it has something to do with the First Light Omen split. I think it's First Light, to be honest, and we have really to deep dive into this one because there's a lot of lore here. The Global Evade may have deactivated transfer the Radianite on the mirrored Earth. Mirrored Jet was featured at the end, first seen in the Duelist cinematic. I'm curious as how that works for mirrored agents. David Nottingham confirmed that there are no clones nor a simulation. Not a live-die live simulation. So in fact, it's not like in Valorant where you respawn. I'm not sure what happens in the end. So how does that actually work for these mirrored agents? We still don't know. Maybe they teleport back just before dying. There's a lot of theories we could go here. Personally, I think this will be hinted in the future. Right now, we are still getting a lot of lore uncovered, which is some really exciting news. And if I had to guess, they may have access to some strange force tech that allows them to revive by using Radianite. And that's definitely a good theory. We already saw so many abilities and so many. For example, let's take a look at Phoenix's revive ability. It's so simple yet so effective, and he basically revives himself. He gets an extra chance with the power of Radianite. So it could be the same thing. So our post-preview discussion made it sound like the central conflict only involves our true Earth and the mirrored Earth. So as David said previously, the oldest Valorant members seem to be already aware of the mirrored Earth. Phoenix VP9 witnesses Mirror Phoenix for the first time. Note again, this is cinematic, takes place after the Duelist cinematic, and Brimstone and Viper were two of the earliest Valorant agents for sure. Now, they know a lot about the central conflict, and I think Viper, if I'm not mistaken, was a scientist, so she could have been researching Radianite at that point, and Brimstone being, some type of soldier, maybe he was in some kind of secret projects. It's definitely a possibility, but have not necessarily revealed it to all the others. We're not sure why. That's definitely a good question from what I'm seeing so far. There's a lot of speculation still why they have not revealed it, to Yoru, maybe to everyone else like Phoenix. Some nice information is on a need-to-know basis. So he's basically implying, from what I understand, is that maybe they don't have to know this yet. At the end, we have several mirror agents in a sort of place in between the two Earths. Radianite needs to be superheated to be applicable in certain scenarios. Confirmation that the spike only removes Radianite from the environment. So what we're seeing so far, as far as I understood, we have several mirror agents in a sort of space in between the two Earths, and they can either get out of that or in that. Maybe they need Radianite by itself I don't know why they need Radianite. It's a big question. Maybe so they can back to their Mirrorverse. It's definitely a good lore so far from what I'm seeing. Radianite needs to be superheated to be applicable in certain scenarios. So this would maybe explain, I don't know how this would work with Phoenix, but it's definitely something interesting to look into. Also, the newsreel we saw from the last year, at the beginning likely contains the lots to pick apart and will require some teamwork to translate. I also can't recall the text from memory. That's something, we saw, I think, with the Yoru hints. We saw a lot of news work that we still have to look into. It seems like the true potential of Radianite has been revealed to the public. Now, the public knows about Radianite, so this is something really important to know. Like, this is big news. There's likely more to pick apart, but this is what I could remember. We watched it on Wednesday twice from someone on Stambo screen share. I'll tweet out any other findings, and if you're curious to the Mirrorverse before the cinematic, there's a lot of theories so far. So David confirmed that we experience the narrative through the lens of Earth 1, the Defenders. So this is what we're seeing so far. Is Jet's backpack in the duelist cinematic still holds canonical, then the attackers are from the Earth 67. So there's many more Earths than just one. There's many more mirrored universes as far as I understand. And you know, we're currently experiencing the lore through the eyes of Earth 1, the defenders. So this is really exciting news. So if you're, there's a lot to go into here. This is like really a deep dive over here from what I'm seeing. Big things going on. There should be multiple Mirrorverses as far as I understood. So let's check this out.
Us, but different.
Most people believe these lines to be evidence of clones or simulation. In actuality, this is explained by the Mirrorverse phenomenon. Some of our earliest hints at the Mirrorverse were in the Duelist cinematic. In the title card, Jet's name is mirrored. Also, mirrored Jet's bag is labeled Earth 67, hinting at the existence of a multiverse.
That's such a good find. So there's definitely a multiverse out there from what I understood correctly.
The Broken Mirrors player card depicts Phoenix.
And this is the first real hint we actually got that this is actually a Mirrorverse happening overall.
Mirrored Phoenix. In the files, this card is actually called Mirrorverse. There's so much more to this lore element, so be sure to follow for part 2. Oh, and
so basically a teaser in the end for the new agent, which is really exciting. So reminiscing on that 3 months ago when I got carried away talking about the Mirrorverse and put David Nottingham in a tough spot. So if we check over here, this is some really exciting news.
Personally, I found quite a few details, and some of the earliest being in the Duelist cinematic. Right at the beginning, actually, Jet's name and Phoenix's name are at the bottom there, but Jet's name is upside down, right? And so for a lot of people, they might see that and think, oh, it's because they're fighting against each other. But no, right? Especially with this introduction of the concept of mirrors, right? That plays a more interesting role in that theory. Yeah. I can, you know what? We can go off stream and I can chat you up about that, maybe. You know.
No, I just, I'm curious. Just I'm finding out more. I'm learning more as we talk.
That's really awesome news. We're probably getting much more bigger of a story expansion so far. So if we check over here, here's what we can see.
I honestly didn't expect that to work.
Really? So maybe give us a heads up next time.
So here they're picked up by the VTOL, right? This is probably the defenders by itself, from what I'm guessing, and not the attackers.
Site secure. We're coming home.
That the big man. Tell him I need answers this time.
What is your problem? We crushed it.
Phoenix got a look in the mirror.
How come they look like us? And what do they want our Radianite for?
I'll talk to Brimstone. It's time we filled you in.
Yo, we got problems.
We? You're the one that screwed up.
You serious? You had it easy, Jet. You know they're bringing whole teams now, right?
And so will we.
So I'm guessing they're actually teaming up with a lot of different Earths to get Radianite. Seems like the Defenders is actually against every single Earth there is out there, which is really confusing. Where are they talking? What location are they in? I need to know so much more, and we're probably going to be getting more information so far in about, I'm guessing, in a few months or so, which is super exciting. Finally getting official Valorant lore, and yeah, be sure to subscribe. I'll keep you updated. Peace, everyone.